Now, this other picture here, this predates the meeting of Jackson and Lafitte, but this is Lafitte's, this is called Jean Lafitte having breakfast with the British before, this is before the Battle of New Orleans. The British came into the Gulf. This was a commission work, all these are, except for the Battle of New Orleans is in a way too. These friends of mine own a house down in Barataria. It's an old Spanish house dates back to 1785. They said, could you do something with that house? I said, yes, I know exactly what we'll use the interior of the house as Lafitte's dining room, right, where he's entertaining the British at breakfast. And this, you know, this is a description, a visual description of what that breakfast would have looked like. Now, my friend said, we're talking about, now this is an interesting thing. You know, I use the real people. My friend, this is my patron right here, is impersonating one of the British, see? And he says, can you put my dogs in it? I said, sure, what kind of dogs do you have? He said, poodles. I said, who said Lafitte didn't have poodles? I said, here, show me the document that said he doesn't have poodles, right? Well, here are the poodles. Now, the thing is, we did a little research, and guess what? Napoleon had poodles. In fact, it was Napoleon that popularized poodles. This is the same era. This is the Napoleonic era. You know, this is right before Waterloo, practically. Well, the Waterloo would happen in the spring of 1815, the summer of 1815. But here, it's okay. So, you know, and then here's his beautiful wife, Erin. She's holding a water pitcher. These are the kids. See, they're like waiters. And he said, could you put my mother-in-law on it? I said, well, man. I said, well, yes, she could be a Goya. She's a portrait hanging on the wall right here, you see? And then he says, see, I've dovetailed two events. When the British left Lafitte's breakfast, they went out, and the men, the other pirate captains, hated the British. So they threw them in jail. There was a little thing what they call a calaboose, and there was a jail. And they put him in the jail, and Lafitte came out, and he says, this is no way to treat my friends. Release them. He was showing the British who was in charge, so they released him. So I said, well, I'll put some pirates in there. And my friend said, could you make all my attorney friends pirates? These are very prominent attorneys in New Orleans, right? Now, I put myself in it, too. I needed one last little bit of fia right here, so I put myself right here in front of the Goya, right? But that's how these pictures are painted. And, you know, it's an old way of doing it. And you need models, you know, you need faces. And I learned this lesson a long time ago. I was with some friends in Florence at the Uffizi, and you get this fill of early Renaissance paintings, mainly, you know, Botticelli, for instance. And we went to a restaurant after going to the Uffizi. We sat in the restaurant for lunch, and the cook puts his head out the cook hole, you know, to give the dish to the waiter. And he looks like a Botticelli. He looks like somebody in the painting, right? But they, you know, what they would do, they'd say, hey, you kind of look like Jesus. Would you be in my picture of the Last Supper? Oh, yeah, sure, okay. Well, that's what they do. That's how they would do it. I said, how immediate. It's, you know, modern art. It's like the modern art is where the artist bends over backwards and kisses his own behind, if you know what I'm getting at. Instead of doing something directly, like Delacroix in his journal, he says, I've just read Hamlet. I was so inspired that the next day I started working busily on lithographs illustrating Hamlet. And I thought, how direct to actually just go ahead and do it, not worry about whether it's modern or not, or whether it works within the sort of flimble flam of the flimousin. You know what I'm getting at? Well, anyway.